No, you can't put a cell phone. It had to be a big can. Wait, are we talking about butts or cans? Are we using the slang term for butts now? God, this is like a regular who's on first.
Wait, you've never seen...
Just put that cell phone in my can. Yo! What?
I hate this episode so much.
Tim, let me get to my interesting facts.
All right.
The word restaurant. What? The word restaurant was first used in France in the 16th century to refer to a highly concentrated, inexpensive soup sold by street vendors that was advertised as an antidote to physical exhaustion. So they used to call soup restaurants.
Cool.
And you know what they called restaurants?
What?
Nothing. They didn't exist yet. And then when restaurants came around, they were like, we got to come up with a name for this. Let's just call them restaurants. And then people are like, no, restaurants are the things you eat. And they're like, well, we'll see about that.
I wake up the next morning. It's like front page of the Times. Soup. That's the food now.
In 1765, a Parisian entrepreneur opened a shop specializing in such soups. This prompted the use of the modern word restaurant for the eating establishments.
Cool.
Like in old days, Tim, there weren't restaurants.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I guess.
Why?
I mean, there weren't a lot of things.
It took so long to come up with the idea of a restaurant.
People were, doing it for themselves.
Yeah, well.
Hunting, gathering.
But apparently they were they had such physical exhaustion that they were looking for an antidote. And the antidote was soup, but the soups were called restaurants.
Yeah, I know. You've mentioned that 3 times now. We get it. Soup used to be called restaurant.
My second fact is restaurants are a relatively new idea.
Why? Why are you doing this?
I would never go to just a soup restaurant, would you?
Do you remember when that guy who was called the Soup Nazi on Seinfeld?
Yeah, and then he was the soup Nazi.
No, he was...
the Soup Man.
The Soup Man.
Yeah.
Which sucks for him because he was just like, they're calling me a Nazi on national television, but guess what? I'll at least get to cash in on the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then he was probably like going to get funding.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we can't.
You can't open
a restaurant called Nazi.
Yeah, you can't open a restaurant with the word Nazi in.
So he was like, okay, we'll just call it the Soup Guy. Then everyone will know.
The Soup Man.
The Soup Man. And they're like, how would people know? He's like, we'll put my picture on it. It's like, you're not the actor who's
right.
on television.
And meanwhile, that actor opened up his own soup company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
The Soup Man. I've had the Soup Man. Pretty good soup.
There used to be one when there was nothing in Greenpoint. When we first moved to Greenpoint, there was one that opened up on Manhattan.
Oh, really?
Avenue. It was the first chain thing that came.
Yeah.
And it lasted like a month.
Yeah, because I barely remember that. I never went there.
I went in
Not
there
that
once
one.
And looked at the menu and I was like, "What? I don't want soup," and left.
Sometimes you would go to that place, and it was like a fast food place, basically, like a Subway sandwiches, but for soup.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, in credit to them, it was like, these are the soups we have today. But a lot of times those soups sucked.
Yeah.
Portable soup was devised in the 18th century by boiling seasoned meat until a thick, resinous syrup was left that could be dried and stored for months at a time.
These were interesting facts?
Yeah. Portable soup.
Soup to go.
Yeah.
Man,
before then,
so ignorant about
the soup was here to stay. So that's my thoughts about soups.
Those were your interesting facts?
Oh, wait. No, I have another.
You've been teasing them for the last 45 minutes, and we'll get to the interesting facts.
And they didn't disappoint. I have a controversial, possibly controversial thing to say about soups. SpaghettiOs are soup. What? Do you agree or disagree? You have to think about it. You've never really... It's a lot to take in.
Because the sauce is very thin and there's a lot of it?
Yeah, it's a soup, man. Look, it's in the soup aisle. It's next to all the
You
soups.
keep talking to me like I'm arguing the opposite point. And I'm not. I don't. Yeah, there's a case to be made for that, I guess.
Oh, a case to be made. Oh, well, maybe we'll kick the can down the road a little bit further and not decide if SpaghettiOs are soup or not. God, you're a coward. Real coward. I'm not afraid to tell Chef Boyardee that he's making soups.
I don't think he'd disagree with you.
Oh, he's long dead.
Thank God.
If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. You can email us, completeguideeverything@gmail.com. Send us your problems there. We haven't done Solves Your Problem in a while because just got a lot to say.
A lot of great opinions. A lot of
You
valuable
can
opinions.
follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/completeguide. Follow us on Twitter @completeguide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram @TomReynolds.
Follow me on those things at your pal Tim.
Check out our Reddit subreddit, r/TCGTE.
That's my favorite thing. Please go post in that.
We had some interesting posts. We had a post, somebody who works for the circus,
After our circus episode.
giving some insight. This guy seemed to know more about circuses than even us through working for the circus.
Yeah. I wonder if the Soup Man is going to show up on Reddit next week.
Yeah, and say no podcast for you.
Yeah. Whoa.
Could you imagine?
Imagine.
You can also support the show by supporting our sponsors, going to tcgt.com/Amazon for all your Amazonian needs, and by supporting us on Patreon, tcgt.com/pledge, where you get fun bonus stuff like Fast Food Friday, a.k.a. The News, starring Tim and Tom, which comes out on Thursdays,
Yeah.
where we cover all the news that's fit to print.
Yeah. I mean, we still have a couple in the can that are called The News.
Now, is that a butt or is that a can?
It's an actual soup can.
Oh, that sounds like a dangerous...
Full of human butts.
What? That's got to be a big can or some small butts.
Small butts.
Okay, good. What were you going to say?
They're concentrated.
Oh, condensed.
Condensed.
Last time I made soup, I made condensed soup without knowing it was condensed.
You,
I
a
needed
smart
to
man
add,
like you, just
I
made a
needed to-
bonehead mistake like that?
I needed to add water. I thought it was like a kid-sized soup.
For a kid like you?
Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
what?
that's great. Kid size, like me.
And I was like, oh, kids must like thick soup, huh?
Do you ever forget that you're a grown man?
Oh, constantly.
Yeah, it's just like, why is this grown-up being so mean to me?
Yeah,
It's like, oh, it's because I'm a fellow grown-up.
Yeah, it usually happens when I'm in the supermarket. I'm screaming because I'm lost.
I had something I wanted to ask you.
Yes, I'm all ears. We'll sit here all day until you can remember. Was it about soup?
Oh, yeah. It was about soup. Bread bowl, yay or nay? Lightning round. This is it.
Yay, but I won't eat the whole thing.
Yeah, but there's something nice
I'll
about
eat the inside part, but the outside, you know what? That's for the birds.
too much bread. Give it to the birds. is
Yeah,
what I
bring
say.
it outside, throw it out in the dumpster for all the birds.
Yeah.
Seagulls love bread. Boy, I'll tell you what. All right, we'll see you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.